Hi everyone, welcome at Atelier Mariekuniek, my channel where I share everything that's keeping my creative mind and hands busy. My name is Marieke, let's get started. Hello, nice to see you again. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Marieke. In this episode, I will talk about some knitting, some crochet knitting, some spinning, and some stitching. So if that's your cup of tea, then take something to drink and let's get started. Let's start with what I'm wearing. That's by the way, I live in the Netherlands, so excuse me for my Dutchy English. But yeah, that's I think there will be a lot of Dutch words in between the English, or maybe not very good English, but I hope I will manage to inspire you anyway. So let's start with what I'm wearing. The sweater I am wearing is a pattern by Hohi Locatelli. Difficult name for me to pronounce. And the yarn I used is Jitterbug by Collinette Yarns. And these aren't the original colors because the yarn was on sale many years ago. And I thought that's not very expensive and learn a lot of yarn. So I overdyed the brown, the yarn with onion scales, both yellow and red, and that resulted in this color. And I really liked it. And the bottom of this sweater, so I stand up, you can see it's a very boxy sweater. This is an original colorway, but I don't know which colorway it is. So, because of the fact I bought it so many years ago, and I put it in my Ravelry. So, yeah, I really like this sweater. It's because of the boxiness. It's my one of my sweaters I regularly wear as at home. As loungewear. It's nice. So that's what I'm wearing. Underneath I can't show you because, well, I tried it before and I can stand up and I can show you a little bit of the fabric. The fabric I bought on a market, so it's not an online sale, but the pattern I used for the trousers I can share with you are the Arthur pants. And the design is by Specs and Keepings, and the pattern you can buy at Sue Liberated, who also sells the hinterless dress, the well-known hinterless dress pattern. Arthur pants. That's what I am wearing, and I also have homemade socks. Let's show those to you because they are pretty beautiful, and I will put the pattern below because I don't believe I wrote it down. But they are in my Ravelry, so that brings me to my show notes. Everything I talk about is below in the description box, and you also find links to everything I mention and my Ravelry pages. So yeah, if you want to know more about it, check my Ravelry for that. Okay, that's what I'm wearing. So let's start with what I am knitting. And the first thing I am knitting is something I wanted to share before I finished it. I am knitting some small socks out of the sock yarns. I make them into keychains. I use a form of my normal sock recipe. I cast it on 16 stitches, knitted, joined in around, knitted I think 3 rows of 1 by 1 rib, then I believe 10 rows of knitting. Then I made on the half of the stitches the heel flap, small heel and the gusset, and once the gusset is finished, I picked up 5 stitches on both sides of the heel for the gusset, and once I reduced it, I knit I believe 5 rows before I cast on for the toe, around the toe. So yeah, I don't have a pattern, I just used a bit of my own recipe for it. Next thing I would like to talk about is a project I finished many years ago, but is back on my needles again. It's the Svelge, a pattern by Laine Magazine, and it's a pattern by Berangere Cailliau. I am betting I am butchering her name, but well, it's a difficult one. This is the sweater, and the reason why it's back on my needles is a pretty sad one, because a few years back we had a very cold period in the winter, and because my husband and we like to sleep with a window open, I think that is the reason why all of a sudden we had a mouse in the house, or at least in our bedroom, which I didn't like it a lot, but yeah, tried to catch it. It's back out again, that I can tell you, but not before he or she did some terrible things, because in a corner of my bedroom I had a stack of my sweaters and pullovers, knitted sweaters and pullovers, and yeah, he or she decided that was a nice place to sleep, and made a hole in my sweater, and not only in my in the body of the sweater, but also he or she ate through a sleeve and the front of my pullover. So when I discovered it, it really made me very sad, as you can imagine. And what I did was I cut off that part of the sleeve and of the body, threw the pullover in a plastic bag and put it in a drawer, because I didn't want to be, I knew I would knitted it somewhere in future, but at that moment I didn't want to see it anymore. So yeah, that's what I did. And a few weeks back I thought, well, before I start all kinds of new projects, I want to re-knit the sleeve and the body of this sweater. So I picked up the sleeve and knit it from here down, and I made a change because I've knitted this sweater with, and now I am blanking on the yarn. I have to look it up, I think, but I don't even have my phone here, I think. So, do I know it? No, I don't. I'm going to check. Okay, I didn't have to go very far because I have another project that uses the same kind of yarn. It's Rennie Super Soft. And it's a 2-ply yarn, and I had a lot left over, and I also had a lot of the Kid Silk Haze. So I re-knitted the sleeve, but I made a change because my experience is that because the 2-ply is a very soft yarn, it's a lamb's wool. I had a bit of problem with the board. How do you call it? The edge of the cuff. And so I decided to use the Kid Silk Haze, knit the cuff, and I knitted also a few rows of plain knitting, so that turns around. I hope you can see it because it's a pretty dark color, so I'm not sure. And I hope this will be a bit stronger for the edge. So that's why I did it in this sleeve, and so I also put another edge on this one as well. And at this point I am knitting on the body part. As you can see, I started here. This yarn blooms, so you do see an edge here. But I think that will be gone once I block it, because then it will bloom again. By the way, this sweater was knitted from the top up, no, from the bottom up, but of course I now am knitting bottom down. Yeah, okay, so here it is, my Purple Svelge, and hopefully it will be finished soon and I can start with another project. Okay, next thing I would like to talk about is my Ariana cardigan. I finished all the crochet part. I also knitted the hem at the bottom, and at this point I am knitting one of the cuffs, and I will put it on for you. So here it is. As you can see, it's a bit wide, so I am thinking I will make a bit of a change to the button band. I think I will start with this part of the hem and then finish the button bands knit the button bands in front, so I have a little bit more body around here, because for me it feels a bit too open. So I think that's a change I will make, and the cuffs will be very long as well, because I would like to have them a bit more lengthy here as well. So, but for the rest, I really like how it turned out. So here it is, my Ariana cardigan, and I will change again. Okay, my Ariana, hopefully it will be finished next time I record. So I have something to show that's finished, because I don't have a finished object at the moment. Well, not completely, but because this brings me, I finished talking about all my knitting, so this brings me to my spinning. And I showed you last time the Berangere 2 braid I bought, and I told you I was spinning it, and I did. And here's the result. And because I wanted to share a bit of the process spinning the yarn, I made another film, and I will insert it after this. So I hope you liked my little explanation about what I have been spinning, how I have been spinning it. I don't know what's happening with my hair. I definitely need a haircut, that's the thing for sure. I'm really curious to know or to find out if the other braid will turn out the same way, because this yarn surprisingly has a very greenish tone over it, and I didn't expected that, because there is a lot of blue and reds and such in this braid. So yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but not this, I must say. And I already think I have an idea what I want to use it for, so that's for the future, but I will talk about in a future episode, I'm sure. So that's my spinning. And yeah, what I wanted to say is that I would like to do a bit more vlogging into my podcast, because sitting in front of a camera and talking for about an hour, I find it pretty difficult to find time, especially since it's winter now, and so I have problems with early darkness and those things. So whenever I'm working on something and I would like to share it with you, I will make a little film so I can insert it whenever I am recording my podcast. So that will be a bit of the shape for future podcasts. Okay, maybe the setup is a bit different than before, because my capture card was full and I did not have my other one that was downstairs, so I had to get it. So I'm not sure when it stopped recording. So I will start with what I wanted to talk about, my stitching. Because at the end of last year I was inspired by, and I have to check the name because it's going out of my mind. Anne Wood. She inspired me. She had a 100-day stitch book and project, and in her project she stitched for 100 days, and she stitched for about 15 minutes every day. And I thought, well, that's a project I think I can manage, so I started to do so as well. But yeah, that was also a project that got abandoned beginning this year. And yeah, last weekend I decided I wanted to do some stitching again. So I picked it up and started again. And I also was hugely inspired by an interview that prompted into my YouTube feed, and it was an interview, and that's what I really have to look in my notes. It was an interview from Fiber Arts Take 2, and that was a new provider for me. They provide all kinds of textile courses online. It's an Australian-based company, I believe, but they started recording all kinds of interviews with mainly fiber artists back in 2000 when COVID was hitting us. And I never seen anything like it. It's such a wealth of information that I really like to share, because if you are like me a bit interested in fiber arts and you would like to know more about the artist behind all the beautiful work, then that really is a channel for you. The interviews are in the live section of the channel, so you have the normal videos like I do, but you can also record live, and that's what they did with the interviews, and so they are organized under the live section of the YouTube channel. So the link is below, but if you are a bit interested in fiber art, then I think you will be interested in that site as well. And because the reason I believe it popped up in my YouTube, because that's how at this moment I think it all works. When you buy something, you on the Instagram and on YouTube, you definitely see all kinds of things back. So your private life isn't really very private anymore. But in this case, I didn't mind it at all. The reason why it popped up is because I saw the first thing that came up was an interview with Cass Holmes, which is a very an English fiber artist. Do I say it? Yeah. And I bought this book from her last week. I already got a book from her that's up there, Stitch Stories, and she has another one I would like to purchase as well in future, because she makes such inspirational work. I really love what she is making. So that's why I wanted to invest in buying these books. She describes a lot of techniques, and she does gives a lot of information on how to do things, and there are a lot of beautiful pictures inside this book. So also a tip if you are interested in textile art. But I did some stitching myself again, and so I finished these two this weekend. I like to make a little abstract stitchings. I find out I really enjoy the process of playing with small pieces of cloth, placing them, looking at it, do I like it this way or do I want to change things? And it's a process, and I really like doing it. So these are my two finished ones, and this one I am working on right now. And I'm not sure if everything stays. Some things are I used are not how do I say it? I pinned it, so it's not sure if it will stay, but I really like the process of slow stitching, and I really like to draw as well. So sometimes these compositions of cloth makes me happy, and sometimes I really like to draw more. But the act of slow stitching, and this is only the running stitch I used on these two, are very, very relaxing, I must say. So those are my stitchings, and I believe I only have 2 rectangles left to finish before I can assemble the book. So maybe that's something I will be able to share then as well, but that's more future. I don't rush things on this end, because I do like the process, and I wanted it to not give myself deadlines in that case. So it's just for fun, and just for expressing myself. I think that's all I wanted to talk about this episode. So I showed you my knitting, I showed you some of my spinning, I talked about my problem with the mouse in the house, and I shared with you some things about stitching. So I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!